Hello everyone, welcome to AK Academy once again. So in this video we will be talking about the concentration cells which are very important for your examination, right? So we will understand each and everything in the concentration cell, what are they, and we will derive some formula. Let's see. So in the concentration cell, what we do, this is a type of galvanic cell where the chemical energy get converted into the electrical energy. So in the concentration cell also the electrical energy will be produced from the chemical energy. But what happens in the concentration cell? Here the electricity is produced by means of the transfer of matter from one place to the another place, and also by the difference in the concentrations of the electrolytes. Let's see actually how these reactions take place, how this mechanism proceeds. Now let's understand. So what happens in the concentration cell? There are two types of concentration cell basically. The first one is electrode concentration cell and the second one is electrolyte concentration cell, right? So in the electrode concentration cell, what happens? There will be two electrodes of the same metal or whatever the gas you consider. There will be two electrodes and in the composition in both the electrodes will be same, but their concentration would be different. For example, let's say if I have this platinum and here I have H2 at P1 pressure, and this is dipped in the solution of HCl, and here what we have? Here we have H2 at P2 pressure with platinum. So here the concentrations are different. Here at one side we have P1 and at the another side we have P2. So because of this difference in the concentration of the electrodes, we will get EMF, and such type of cells are called as electrode concentration cells, right? In the next one we have electrolytic concentration cell. So in the electrolyte concentration cell, so what happens in the electrolyte concentration cell? In this case we will have a solution, we will have two different solution of the same whatever the compounds we will consider. For example, let's say if we have HCl, so we will have the two HCl solutions of the different concentration, let's say A1 and the A2. So that kind of cell will be called as electrolyte concentration cell. Let's say we have Zn, here we have Zn2 plus, here the concentration is A1, and here we have Zn2 plus, the concentration is A2, and here Zn. So as you can see, here we have two different electrolytes of different concentrations. Here we have Zn, right, of concentration A1, and here we have Zn2 plus of concentration A2. So this is basically a type of electrolyte concentration cell. So we will learn each and everything in the detail. So now let's see what happens actually. In the electrode concentration cell, you will have two kind of cells. The first one will be reversible to cation and the second one will be reversible to anion. And the electrolyte concentration cell, this is again divided into two categories. The first one is with transference and the second one is without transference, and each category is divided into two type of cells, that is reversible to cation and reversible to anion. In the concentration cell, the very important thing is actually you should know how to derive the formula, because what happens, so many times we do mistakes in the exam whenever the questions come from concentration cells. What happens actually, let me tell you. Actually when we consider the gases, in that case you will see like P1 divided by P2 is there, but if I consider for any metal, so that may be C2 divided by C1. So the concentration may vary. Actually whatever the equilibrium constant we get, that may be different for different element. So that's why you should understand how to derive the formula in case of the concentration cells. So these formulas are very much important for you, right? So now let's see the first one we will consider for the electrode concentration cell, and we will take an example of this one which is reversible to cation, and now let's see how it will proceed. So in this case, here on the left hand side we will have one reaction, that is what, H2 will get converted into H plus plus 1 electron, and on the right hand side there will be reaction, H plus is accepting electron and getting converted into H2. But here the concentration is P1, so it is at P1 and it is at P2. Getting my point? On the left hand side there will be oxidation, so here we have oxidation reaction, and on the right hand side we will have reduction, so here we have reduction reaction. So now let's see what will be the final equation. So in the final equation we will have something like this, P2, and here we will have H plus, here we will have P1. Got it? So P2 is getting converted into P1. So now let's see what else we will have. So if I try to write down the equilibrium constant, so if I am denoting it by P1 divided by P2 only, so K will be equal to P1 divided by P2, right? So P1 divided by P2 will be over here. So what we know, E cell is equal to E naught cell. Now E naught cell in case of concentration cells are 0. Why? The reason is, the first reason, let's see, if I consider this electrode and this electrode, they both are same. So in this case their SRPs would be same. So if their SRPs are same, so definitely what will happen? If their SRPs are same, so definitely E naught cell will be 0, right? Understood? So what will happen? Here the SRPs would be same. If their SRPs are same, so here we will have 0. So 0 minus 2.303 RT upon NF. So N I can take as 1, and here log P1 divided by P2. So there the minus sign we have, and what we can do? P2 will go above, so this will become 2.303 RT upon NF log of P2 divided by P1. So if this reaction needs to be spontaneous reaction, so in this case P2 should be greater than P1. So this is very important for the exam. Sometimes maybe question will be there that tell the what is the condition for this equation to become the spontaneous reaction. So definitely that will be P2 is greater than P1, right? So this is the equation, this is the formula what we had derived. So very simple derivation is there. You won't take more than 1 minute to derive the formula for the concentration cells of any kind, right? So you should know all the concept behind it. Now let's see, we will discuss about the electrolyte concentration cell, and here we have two kind of thing. The first one is with transference and the second one is without transference. So what happens in case of without transference? Let's say if I have two solutions, if I have two electrolytes and they are not in contact of each other, means direct contact. What I mean by direct contact, suppose if I have this cell and here I have one electrode and here I have divided it, right? So what will happen over here? Here these both of these electrodes and the solution here is A1, let's say, and the A2. The concentration of solution in compartment this one is A1 and the concentration is A2. If I will mix both of them, so definitely some ions can migrate from this side to this side, and also the ions can migrate from this side to this side. So what will happen over here? So in this case they are in the direct contact of each other. So if they are in direct contact of each other, so definitely ions will migrate and there will be the formation of the liquid junction potential. Actually liquid junction potential will arise, right? So if liquid junction potential will arise, so how we can remove them? We can remove them by using the salt bridge. We have discussed this in our previous videos. So here what will happen, if I am using the salt bridge, so they are not in contact of each other. So means ions are migrating from this side to that side, but the thing is the solutions are not in contact with each other. So in that case we can say the solution is without transference. That is a kind of electrolyte cell without transference. But here if the solutions are directly contact with each other, so they are actually what will happen over here? They are transferring their material from this side to that side and that side. So this side and liquid junction potential is also arising. So in this case this cell is electrolyte cell with transference, right? Understood? Now let's see the examples. So in this case with transference, what we can say here, suppose if I have one cell that is platinum, here we have H2 and HCl at concentration A1, and here again we have HCl at concentration A2 and H2 and platinum. So in this case what you can see, the HCl and HCl, they both are in direct contact with each other. But if I say this one, so this is Zn2 plus, here I have A1 and here I have used salt bridge, so Zn2 plus I have used A2, so this is Zn. So in this case what you can see, they are not in direct contact of each other. The solutions of this Zn and this Zn are not contact with each other directly. So that's why this kind of examples are of without transference and these kind of examples are of with transference. And now we will derive the formula for both of these. Now let's consider for the first one, that is without transference. So for the without transference, if I am considering this one, so what will happen on the left hand side, the Zn will get converted into Zn2 plus 2 electron, and here the concentration is E1. And on the right hand side, so this will become Zn2 plus, this is accepting 2 electron and that is forming Zn, and the concentration is A2. If I write the net cell reaction, so this will become Zn2 plus A2 is getting converted into Zn2 plus A1. So this is what we have got. If I say the concentrations are actually C1 and C2, right? So K will be equal to what? C1 divided by C2. This is what we will get. If I say E, if I try to find out the E, so E will become E naught. E naught is basically 0. In any concentration cell, E naught is 0. So 0 minus 2.303 RT upon NF, and I can take 2 over here. NF, here we will have log C1, not C1, log K, yeah right, C1 upon C2. And here we have minus sign, so what will happen? So this can become 2.303 RT upon NF log of C2 divided by C1. So if I want this cell to work as a spontaneously, so C2 should be greater than C1. If C2 will be greater than C1, so definitely this cell will be spontaneous. This cell, definitely the EMF of this cell will be positive and the reaction also proceeding over here will be spontaneous reaction, right? So please remember this, actually how you can actually derive the formula for these all things, because sometimes it may confuse you. You will definitely find some question that will confuse you. So that's why you should know how to derive the formula for concentration cells. Now let's see for the next one, that is with transference. So in the case of with transference, actually all the examples whatever I have taken, they are with reversible to cation only, right? And now let's see the next one. Here what we have, here we have platinum, here H2, and here we have HCl, and here A1, right? So this is what we have. Now let's see, here the concentration is A1 and here the concentration is A2. So what will happen? Ions from, now let's first write the reaction. So in this case what will happen? H2 will get converted into H plus 1 electron. This is on the left hand electrode, means oxidation is occurring over here, and here H plus is accepting 1 electron and that is forming half H2. This is happening on right hand electrode. Now please see what is happening over here. Here we have H plus electron and here we have H plus electron, right? So in the compartment A1, the H plus are getting produced, and in the compartment A2, the H plus are getting consumed. So here the H plus are actually produced and here the H plus are actually consumed. So H plus, if the solutions are in contact with each other, so definitely the ions are free to move from this compartment to that compartment. So in this case, H plus can migrate from A1 to A2. So definitely that will migrate. So H plus will migrate from A1 to A2. So H plus is migrating here from left to right. Here let me write over here. H plus is migrating from left to right. In the solution we also have Cl minus. So Cl minus will also move. How? On which direction it will move? If cations are migrating from left to right, then anions migrates opposite to cation, right? So H plus is migrating from left to right, so Cl minus will migrate from right to left. Please pay attention and please remember this. So Cl minus will migrate from this to this side, and now let's see what will happen. If suppose if the transport number of this H plus is T plus and transport number of Cl minus is T minus, actually first we will consider for this Cl minus. If the transport number of Cl minus is T minus, then the transport number of H plus will be 1 minus T minus, which is equal to T plus. So this is transport number of cation, so basically H plus. If according to Faraday's second law, what we can say, if I will supply 1 Faraday current over here, if I will supply 1 Faraday current over here, then what will happen? Then in this case, T minus Cl minus equivalent ions will migrate from left to right, right? From right to left. If I am supplying 1 Faraday charge to this one, then what will happen? The Cl minus, T minus Cl minus will migrate from right to left. And same for the T plus H plus will also migrate from left to right. Got it up to this much? Now let's see what will happen in the next case. So what we can say over here H plus is migrating from left to right, right? And here if I write the reaction, so it will become, definitely it will be, here we will have H plus A2 and it is getting converted into H plus A1. More precisely, let's write it as A plus and A minus. Here, sorry, not A minus, but it will also become A plus. So it is H plus A plus 1 and this is H plus A plus 2, like this only. What will happen after this one? Please see. After this, what will happen if I see on the right hand electrode? So on the right hand electrode, what is happening actually? On the right hand electrode, we have 1 gram equivalent of H plus, right? We have 1 gram equivalent of H plus is getting produced from this equation. Please see, here H plus is getting produced. So here we have 1 gram equivalent of H plus, but at the same time there is loss of T plus gram equivalent of H plus. So here what we have here, 1 gram equivalent of H plus is actually produced, and there is also loss of T plus gram equivalent of H plus. So if I say about the net, how much H plus is there, so that will be basically 1 minus T plus, so which is what, T minus. So here the net H plus will be T minus H plus. Again, one more thing is going to happen over here. There is gain of T minus Cl minus gram equivalent. Actually Cl minus is migrating from this side to this side, so that's why on the right hand electrode there is gain of T minus Cl minus gram equivalent. And if I say for the left hand electrode, so in case of left hand electrode the same thing is happening. Here what is happening, but here 1 gram equivalent of H plus is getting consumed, and there is gain of T plus H plus, because T plus is migrating from this side to that side. So in that case also there is gain of T plus and loss of 1 gram equivalent. So in that case also there will be T minus H plus, right? And also there will be loss of T minus Cl minus. There is loss of T minus Cl minus gram equivalent. Understood this much? So here what we can say, here we have loss of 1 gram equivalent of H plus, gain of T plus will be in the subscript, T plus gram equivalent of H plus, and again here is loss of T minus gram equivalent of Cl minus. So in this case also 1 minus T plus will become T minus gram equivalent of H plus. So on the both the sides, so T minus gram equivalent of H plus will be there. Now let's see what else we can do over here. So now we will write the final equation, which is, we will write the final equation, and from that we will derive the E cell of this concentration cell. So here what will happen, here we will have H plus, here A2, here A plus 2, and here H plus, A plus 1, and here we will have Cl minus, A plus, sorry, not here A plus but A minus, and Cl minus, A minus 1. So this is the final equation we will have, and we can write the E cell. So E cell will be equal to E naught cell, E naught cell minus 2.303 RT upon NF log K. So in this case, how we can write it? So this will become E naught cell will become 0, and we can write it as here how we can write it for this and this equation. If I combine both of this, so this will become minus 2.303 RT upon NF log, here what we will have, A1 divided by A2, so A plus 1 divided by A plus 2, minus for this one 2.303 RT upon NF log of here A1 A minus 1 divided by A minus 2. This is what we will have, and after this what will happen, after this we can write it as, here the minus sign is here the minus sign is here, and here minus sign is here, right? So what will happen, A2 will go above. So here we will have 2.303 RT upon NF. Actually what will happen here, T minus would be there, T minus will be over here, in this case also T minus will be over here. The reason is why T minus will be over here, because T minus gram equivalents are migrating from left to right or from right to left, right? So here T minus also we can write, so this is T minus is also present over here. We can write in this form also, T minus H plus and T minus H plus A1, right? So this is the way how we can represent, and T minus will be there. So this will be T minus 2.303 RT upon NF log A2 divided by A1 plus T minus 2.303 RT upon NF log A minus 2 divided by A minus 1. Got it up to this much? Now let's see what will happen next. In the next part, what we can do, we will take common T minus and 2.303 RT, T minus 2.303 RT upon NF we will take common, and this will become log A plus 2 A minus 2 divided by A plus 1 A minus 1. So this both can become what? Both of this can become log of A plus minus square, this is A2, and this will become log A plus minus square. So T minus 2.303 RT upon NF. So this is the final equation what we have. E cell is equal to this one what we have, right? And what will happen if I consider it for the univalent type of electrolyte? So in that case, this A plus this 2 square will become A2, and this A plus minus 1 square will become A1. Now let's see what else will happen. These square can come to this side, right? If this square will come this side, so this will become E cell is equal to 2T minus 2.303 RT upon NF log of A plus minus 2 A plus minus 1. Understood? So this is the formula what we have get. Now certain more things need to be discussed over here. The thing is, we need to discuss about the liquid junction potential. So what I had told you about the liquid junction potential, if suppose we have one solution this one and one solution of this one, right? So if the ions are free to migrate from this place to this place or this place to this place, so in this case the lighter ion will migrate from Suppose the lighter ions are migrating from A2 to A1. So in this case, the concentration gradient will develop. If the concentration gradient will be there, so definitely there will be charge development. If there will charge development, then what will happen? If here suppose we have charge development, then this development of the charge on the junction is called as liquid junction potential. Understood? So this is basically the liquid junction potential, and we also understood how liquid junction potential arises. Now in this video we are going to also find how we can calculate the liquid junction potential. Now let's see how we can calculate it. So you have got this formula, and in the case of with transference only we get the liquid junction potential, and in case of without transference we don't get the liquid junction potential. If so, what we can do, we can minus this minus this will give you liquid junction potential. If suppose I have the same cell, right, if I have the same cell, and what I am doing, this in this case this is with transference, so in this case definitely liquid junction potential is there. But if I actually put a salt breeze over here, so in that case liquid junction potential won't be there. So in this, what we can do, this minus this will give you, this minus this will give you liquid junction potential. So in the in this video only we had discussed and we had find out this is equal to 2.303 RT upon NF log A plus minus 2 divided by A plus minus 1. This is what we will get if, this is what we will get if I put this, if I try to find out the EMF of this cell in case of without transference, right? This is with transference, and this formula is for the with transference, and this formula is for the without transference for the same cell. So we can minus both of them. So let me represent, this is LJP, it will be equal to E cell, here we have with transference WT minus E cell WOT without transference. So if I minus both of them, so this will become this minus this, so this is the common term what we have, so this will become 2T minus, here minus is at the subscript minus 1, and here we have 2.303 RT upon NF log of A plus minus 2 A plus minus 1. This is what we will get, right? And here we have 2T minus 1. Now let's understand the importance of this. So if we have 2T minus 1, I can write it like 2T minus 1. So this can be written like this, T minus minus 1. So T plus T minus is equal to 1. So T minus is equal to 1 minus T plus. So here it will be 1 minus T plus T minus 1 minus, so this will become basically let me write it over here. So T plus will come this side, so T minus will be equal to 1 minus T plus. If I take it as minus T minus, so this will become 1 plus T plus. Minus T minus will be equal to 1 plus T plus. So it will become T minus T minus is equal to what? 1 T minus plus 1, and here we have plus T minus, sorry, not plus T minus, this is, sorry, here what we will have, T minus plus T minus minus 1. Sorry for this silly mistake. So this is T minus plus T minus minus 1. So T minus will be equal to 1 minus T plus. So T minus is 1 minus, here we have T plus minus 1. So this minus and this minus will get cancelled, and here we will have T minus T plus. So this is what we will get. This is equal to 2T minus 1. So the final equation can also, So here we will get t minus t plus, which is equal to 2t minus 1, right? And here this equation can be written as t minus t plus 2.303 RT upon NF log a plus 2 and a plus 1, a plus minus 2 and a plus minus 1, right? Now let's discuss certain more things about this formula. So here we have t minus t plus. So what is the importance of this? So in case this is equal to what? ELJP, liquid junction potential. So if t minus is equal to t plus, so in that case this whole term will become 0, that is what? Removal of liquid junction potential. So in this case we won't get the liquid junction potential. So that's why we consider only those substances where the transport number of cation is equal to transport number of anion. So in that case we don't get the liquid junction potential. We use those substances to make the salt bridge. For example, let's say KCl. KCl and the ammonium nitrate, actually we use to make them the salt bridge. But what happens? So in that case the transport number of cation and anion are actually comparable. So that's why we actually don't get the liquid junction potential when we use the salt bridge. To avoid that, we use only these substances for the liquid junction potential, for the removal of liquid junction potential. So I hope you understood each and everything whatever I have discussed, and please remember all the formulas whatever I have discussed over here, they are reversible to cation only. They are not reversible to anions. For anions, you try to find out the equations and please solve the questions, and definitely whatever the questions would have been asked on the basis of this concentration cell, so those will be discussed over here. And in the next video we will start with some very important concept, and this is actually from here, from this concentration cell we completed the galvanic cells actually, and some parts application of galvanic cells are there. Already we have discussed about the solubility product, right? How you already know solubility product. Actually that is a kind of equilibrium constant, and on the basis of that only we can calculate. And what we can do, we can also calculate the transport numbers from this equation. So using the EMF, in the application of EMF, basically we have tried to find out the delta H, delta S, and that dE divided by dt at constant pressure is called as temperature coefficient. So we also know what temperature coefficient, and apart from this we also came to know about transport number, solubility product, right? And from the same you can find out the formation constant. So these all things, so you can definitely find out, and these all are the applications of the EMF. So in the application of EMF there is nothing much to explain, actually already we have discussed a lot, and from the next video we will discuss some new concept, that is what? Conduction of the solution. And if you are watching this video on YouTube, so please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon, and thank you so much for watching this video.